welcome back to another mock draft simulator on PFF here. Today's edition, the Buffalo Bills. So I think we can all agree as NFL fans that the Bills have been very disappointing these last few years. We've honestly expected them to have a Super Bowl by now. They were the Super Bowl favorites this last year and didn't even make it past the divisional round. Now, this team has been quite disappointing, and I think it's for many reasons. One, with the coaching, and then two, with their style of offense. I mean, that defense has been amazing and has been stout, but that offense has not lived up to par. Now, that's kind of funny saying that because I mean, this team has done very well on the offensive end. But when you look at the team stats, right? What I've noticed, and especially watching because I've watched a lot of the Bills games, what I've noticed is that their run game is not as potent as it should be, especially for a championship team. Now, you look at the stats; they're great. For about 43% of their offensive plays are running the ball. That's not bad, and 2,200 yards in total. That's not bad at all. And over 5 yards a carry, that's not bad at all. If with 15 touchdowns, but here's the thing: a lot of those, attempts and those yards and those touchdowns are a credit to Josh Allen scrambling the ball. Because if you look at the player stats, as you see right here in 1 second, Josh Allen has 762 of those rushing yards, which is a third of those rushing yards, and then half of those touchdowns was seven, and then had 124 of those attempts. So you're taking about a quarter of the attempts, about a third of the yards, and then half of the touchdowns. You take him out of there, and that rushing game is negligent at the best. And then they lost Devin Singletary to the Texans out of all teams. And he was all right, but he was never that star running back that we all thought he was going to be. And here's the thing, that's what they need. They need a star running back to get off the load of Josh Allen because it's no credit to Josh Allen that he's not able to do this stuff. The fact that he's able to run for almost 800 yards in a season, had 7 rushing touchdowns and then running for 124 times, that's great. That is great. That was what makes him a superstar quarterback in this league. But if you want to protect your quarterback that you've committed over 200 million guaranteed dollars to, you got to protect him with not just the offensive line that you built, but with a run game to help save his arm. It's common sense, teams. You got to get this down, and they haven't had an elite running back since LaShawn McCoy. So in the first round, no matter how much it costs, I'm gonna get Bijan Robinson. And then I've created a list of needs for every team. But if you see right here, the Bills, I came up with three things. Running back, which we're gonna get Bijan Robinson no matter what. We have to. Number two was linebacker for depth. I'm only saying this because even though they lost Tremaine Edmonds to the Bears, he hasn't done that well. He's been declining every year since his rookie year. But outside of Matt Milano, I think they still could use a little bit of help. It's not necessarily a huge need, but just kind of getting some depth back there, maybe investing in the future does not hurt. And then with defensive back or with cornerback, they need a cornerback too. They need a true cornerback too. We're going to try and invest that here in this draft, and let's get into it here. Alrighty, so before we get started here, we are going to have to trade up for Bijan Robinson no matter what, as I just said. And we're probably going to trade with either the Lions or with the Seahawks because both those teams have 2 first-round picks and they've already used them earlier on in this draft in the top 6. So they are probably going to be the two teams that are most likely going to move back to get some even more draft capital to help build their teams up because they're both in similar situations. But the big reason why we want to trade up with them is because the Chargers are probably going to be the first team that could really get Bijan Robinson because with the Austin Eckler situation, I think probably going to stay, but in the off chance he doesn't, the Chargers would be the first team to get him here. So we're going to have to trade up there and let's actually get started. So hopefully, I really hope he lasts until, because if not, we're fucked. Okay. I don't think the Bucks will get him. Ooh, okay, they didn't get him. So we're going to trade with the Seahawks here. We're going to offer to go up 10 spots, and then we're going to give him a future pick here. We're going to probably give him a future third-round pick, maybe a fourth. You know what? Let's try and give him. We don't want to give up too much because we don't have that many picks. We only have 6, and even though we're trading up to get probably the guy that's going to make this, pretty much going to take this team to the next level, um, We're gonna have to give up some draft capital here. I think we give up next year's third round pick. For moving up 7 spots for next year's third round pick is not that bad. We have all of our picks for the next year, and we don't right here. So we're trying to conserve as much of our draft capital as possible. And here we go. And we just got him. We're gonna take Bijan Robinson. I will see y'all in a minute. Alrighty, we are on the clock here. So unfortunately, one of the guys that I wanted to take here at this pick was where'd he go? It was the Commanders that took him. Yeah, it was Tyreek Stevenson. He was kind of going to fall down perfectly there. I wanted to take him in the second round, but unfortunately, he did not. And I don't really like any of these cornerbacks here in the second round. A lot of these guys, I just don't. I think we can wait to get this guy because look at his rank in ADP. It's pretty much 93. We have pick at 91. So if we can get Jalen Jones here at the third pick, I would not mind that at all. Here's the thing. We're probably going to go with safety here, and the best guy available here is Jamie Robinson. Now, he's the best all-around safety in this draft class, in my opinion, with an 80 overall run defense grade and 78 overall coverage. But here's the thing: people are going to be debating with me because this guy has I mean, his grades are a lot better, especially in coverage, not the run defense as much, which won't be as important for the Bills because the coverage grade is what they're looking at here. But what the difference for me here is the situation that he's in. Now, a lot of these Alabama guys have been through through a lot of work and a lot of success. But there is an argument here to Jordan Battle's success being stemmed from Brian Branch and Nick Saban. So with that in mind, it's kind of hard to tell if Jordan Battle is actually a guy that I would rather take. Now he is physically a bit bigger, but I kind of want a guy that's more all around for this Bills defense. We're taking a safety here because one of the needs. Even though I didn't list it, one of the needs is defensive back in Jordan Poyer. They did re-sign him to a 2-year contract, but they need to get somebody here in the future. So this is a guy they can wait on for a couple years to take to build up into their standard. I think we will take Jamie Robinson here. I'll see you all in a minute. Alrighty, we're on the clock, and as I predicted, the guy that we wanted is still here. It's great. Now here's the thing. I mean, he's overall decent grades. It's not that bad. What I'm looking at here is the physical tools at 6'2" and 200 pounds. He's done very well. He's done very well, and he's fit right here at the third round. I think he could potentially thrive in this Bills defense. We're going to take Jalen Jones. Alrighty, we are on the clock here. Now in the fourth round, I'm going to make another controversial pick here, but we're going to do it anyway. This guy's run defense grade is pretty good, and coverage grade is not that bad, but this guy is best at press coverage. You want to know why? This dude is 6'3" and 210 pounds at cornerback. This dude is massive. You know who was also great at press coverage and 6'3"? Richard Sherman. He was also picked in the fifth round. Now, this guy's picked in the fourth round, so a later round pick, a huge guy in size. The Bills, this is just an investment in the future. Maybe find a gem here. We are going to take Corey Trice. Alrighty, we are on the clock here. So one of the needs that I didn't really list on the Bills was wide receiver, and they really for wide receiver they only need a three. This guy Shakir has shown flashes, but beyond that, it's not really looking too good. I'd rather have Shakir at the number 4 spot, especially in this pass-heavy offense. Now, Gabe Davis kind of underperformed last year, and Stephon Diggs has done really well as obviously. I was looking at this guy. Now here's the thing. He has decent runs per route and then decent receiving grade and man coverage grade and has decent he's decent all around. But the thing that I'm very concerned here is at 5'11, he's 172 pounds, which is very light and very scary. Now that may not be a problem, especially if he's drafted to Buffalo, to where it's freezing 9 months out of the year and he'll be staying inside and pretty much building muscle. But I was also looking at this guy who is a lot better in general, has better receiving grade, better man coverage, better contested catch, and he's a true slot wide receiver. It is something that the Bills do need because Stephon Diggs can really play anywhere. Gabe Davis is more of that deep threat type of guy for Josh Allen. So getting a guy in the slot that can pretty much get your 5 to 10 yard gains is something that they need to help open up that deep threat to Gabe Davis. So taking Parker Washington here is a great move, and especially here he's a steal. He's a third round projection, and we're getting him in the fifth. So we're gonna take Parker Washington. Alrighty, we have the last pick of our draft in the sixth round. Now, here's the thing: we're gonna go with linebacker no matter what. And here's the thing: the guys that we're looking for, they're gonna be all reaches. Now, I was looking at these guys right here, and a lot of these guys are like Mikel Jones, and then Muhammad. They're both more like outside linebackers. Their pass rushing grade is amazing, and their coverage and run defense grades are like dog shit. And then Charlie Thomas and Troy Brown are just kind of trash. What I was looking at here is Servaka Dennis. Now, I've drafted this guy before in drafts, especially in the seventh round, and he pretty much looks like a steal. He's had a great year this last year, has a 92 run grade defense and a 77 overall coverage, so he can kind of do it all. Now, as obviously he's more of a run stopper than a coverage guy, and he's not bad at size for 6 foot and 226. But I did find somebody that I think could be a bit better and has a little bit better physical tools. Now, his run defense and pass rush grades are about the same, but not that great. But the key thing here is his coverage grade. He's a 92 coverage grade, has done very well with 2 forced incompletions. Now, only a 58% completion percentage. He's done very well, a little bit more consistent when it comes to the grades. Now, he's not necessarily playing the best competition, but here's the thing: he's a bit bigger at 6'2 and 225, and this is a seventh round pick type of guy. So this is kind of just more of a shot in the dark. Hopefully this guy pans out, and if he doesn't, you didn't lose that much, right? So the coverage grade is key here because the Bills do run a 4-3, so it's not like these linebackers right here are really rushing the ball. So they're kind of just playing back, waiting to make a decision, waiting to make a move. And with the coverage grade here, his run defense could get a bit better. But with that Bills defense, and it's great all around, especially in the run game, I think that'll help him out. We're going to take Aubrey Miller Jr. Alright, and as y'all know, at the end of each mock draft, PFF gives us a grade. So let's see here. So, um, wow, PFF does not like us. Holy cow. They gave us a C minus for trading up 7 spots in the first round and a third round pick to get Bijan Robinson. They gave us a D plus. Um, I don't agree with this one. I think that was a good move that we made. I think honestly, at the least, I think this is a B minus, but whatever, right? And then Jamie Robinson for safety, D plus as well. I mean, we could have gone with Jordan Battle there. It's kind of 50-50. I was kind of not trying to draft the same guys as always, but I gave my good reason as to why I'd rather have Jamie Robinson. A minus, this seems to be the only guy that we have on A's. Jalen Jones, I've drafted him before. He's done pretty good. And then a B minus for Corey Trice. Corey Trice out of Purdue. I think that was a good pick. And then Parker Washington, I think that was one of our more underrated picks as well. And they gave us a D plus for Aubrey Miller Jr. And they gave us a C overall grade. So according to PFF mock draft, this is the worst mock draft I've ever done. Now, I don't think this is, but let me know what y'all think down below. If this is a horrible draft, or did I make these Bills, or did I just upgrade this Bills team to actual Super Bowl contenders this time, or are they just going to disappoint again in 2024? I will see y'all later. Peace.